Hey, in this video, you're gonna learn about clickjacking vulnerability and how clickjacking works. So basically, in the first part, you will learn about clickjacking explanation and prevention methods. In the second part, you will learn about finding clickjacking in real websites. We are gonna visiting, checking for clickjacking vulnerabilities in real websites. So and third, you will gonna learn about how hackers exploiting the clickjacking vulnerability. And let's begin. Basically, clickjacking is a malicious technique where a user is tricked into clicking something different from what they perceive, potentially revealing confidential information or taking control of their computer while clicking on some web pages. So, this is an example scenario. Imagine that you visit a website that offers a free gift card. You see a big get reward button. So, but behind the button, there is a transparent frame that you are not gonna see about from your online banking site, where the real action is confirm transfer 10,000 button. But when you click the get reward button, what happens in behind that you don't realize that you are clicking really in the transfer 10,000 button to someone else's account. So there is a image saying about that. So you are clicking a button, in behind that button there is a hidden iframe that you don't see about. So another image saying this. So here you will gonna click win to get money, but actually behind that you are paying money to someone else that you don't even know about. So how clickjacking works? So basically, attacker creates a malicious page with an entity offer. An invisible iframe is loaded in the background, pointing to a legitimate sensitive action, example bank transfer or liking or deleting their account, etc. The attacker places a fake button aligned of the real button. User clicks the visible button, unknowingly perform the hidden action. User doesn't know that what happens next when you click that button. So you can prevent clickjacking by using the X-frame options in HTTP header, deny or same origin, using content security policy, frame ancestor directive, and employee frame bursting, JavaScript techniques, and educate users about the risk of unknown and suspicious links. In the second part, we are going to look on to a website called Web about clickjacking vulnerability. So this website is basically vulnerable to clickjacking vulnerability. We are going to test how we can identify a website is vulnerable to clickjacking vulnerability. For that, let's search for clickjacking and let's search for Avast. In the Avast, we have something to use, like a clickjacking code that we can use for testing the vulnerability exists in a web page. So basically we have a HTML code here. So I'm just copying the HTML code from the Avast website, and here in the mousepad I'm just pasting the HTML code. And first I'm going to test this web website for clickjacking vulnerability. So and I'm just changing the iframe source to our URL and saving this as click.html in my computer. So then what I'm going to do is to open the folder and double clicking the click.html. So this website is loaded in this low window, right? So that means it is vulnerable to clickjacking attacks. For example, I will demonstrate one more thing to make you understand clearly. So instead of putting web, we can put some other websites like Microsoft.com. So in this website, we can check if this website is vulnerable to clickjacking by editing the content in the mousepad. So let's move into the click.html and just edit this and change the URL to Microsoft. And I'm just saving this and double clicking that. So when you click that, this website is not vulnerable to clickjacking. So that's why it will not load in a small window. If the website is loading in a small window, then it means that the website is vulnerable to clickjacking. If it is not loading like this, then this website is not vulnerable to clickjacking. So we also have a website which tests for clickjacking. You can search for clickjacking test and you'll be able to see clickjacking is also called UI redressing. Okay, that's something that you need to keep in mind. It's also called UI redressing. So there is a website called clickjagger.io where you can just put the URL to see if this website is vulnerable to clickjacking or not. So yeah, let's first copy and paste the website, and it's HTTP and test. When you click test, it will test for vulnerability and why it is vulnerable. X-frame options, missing header, CSP header. So the reason why this website is vulnerable to clickjacking. Let's move on to the third part, in which we will gonna look on the Portsugar website. So in the Portsugar website, I will gonna show you how the hackers exploit this vulnerability. So I'm just closing the useless tabs, and I'm just starting the lab from Portsugar. So in this lab, we are going to perform clickjacking. So we want to log in as Veena and Peter. So let's load this website, and this is the website which is vulnerable to clickjacking. So we can just go to my account, and first we can just log in using the credentials that they're given, like Veena, Peter, and click login. Now we are logged in. Now we are going to the exploit server. So in the exploit server, we have the body. So what we are going to do here is to add that clickjacking content which is available in the solution option in this particular website. So basically I'm just copying all and pasted it here, and I just want to enter my URL here in the iframe source. So let's use our URL from our my frame source until my account. So I'm just pasting my URL, and we also want to set something called width, height, and top left, all those things to align it correctly. So let's set something else, like let's change this width value to something like 500 and px, and let's change this height into something like 700 px pixel, and the opacity to something like 0.1, and let's move on to the top value, which we can set as something like 200, and the shade value is something like 200, and let me change the top value to something like 600. And let us check, let us click the store button and click the view exploit button to see what is happening here. So this website is vulnerable to clickjacking, so that's why it's showing like this. So as you can see, there is a light showing that the website is showing here, right? So and the test me button is here, right? So basically we are gonna do this in real life. Okay, so first let me log in this website using the Veena Peter, and click login. Now I'm login. As you can see, there is a delete account button. So our basic aim of this lab is to delete the account of this user. Okay, so here is our test me. Okay, so basically I'm just moving back, and here instead of test me, I'm just changing the content to something called click me. And here you can change the opacity to something like 1. If you change this opacity to 1 and click store and click view exploit, then what will happen? Then this is basically the website. So if you see a website like this, then you will understand that this is the website, and you don't want to click into something malicious, right? But what hackers will do here is like hackers will change the opacity. Here the opacity here is 1 that we set, so I'm just changing it to 0.1 so that you'll be able to understand what is happening in the background. So and clicking store and clicking view exploit. So basically, as you can see, the click me, so we just want to align this click me somewhere else to the delete account. And what happens here is the attacker will only see the click me button, and if attacker click the click me button, then the account will get deleted. So I will demonstrate that. So when we move to the solutions, we were able to see some contents, like the height value should be 700 and the width value should be 500 pixels. So let me change accordingly. Height 700, width 500 pixels, and we can see the top and side value will be top value 300 and the side value 60 px. Top value, let me change into 300 px, and the left value change it into 60 px, and I'm just clicking store and just clicking view exploit. And now we can see the click me button will be somewhere here. So we just need to make the click me button down to the delete account option. So for that we can just move back and change the top to somewhere else 500 px. And I'm just clicking store. I'm just clicking view exploit. Now, as you can see, the click me button is in the delete account option. So I'm just clicking. As you can see, when you hover over, the icon is changing. The mouse pointer is changing when you hover over here. When you hover over here, you look at the mouse pointer. But when you hover over here, you can see the mouse pointer is changing. So when you click here, your account will get deleted. Okay, so that's what happened when you click there. Okay, so anyways, I am just changing the opacity to somewhere around 0.0001, and I'm just storing, and I'm just viewing exploit. So this is how the victim sees, this is how the attacker says. So this is just a demo. So the victim assume that I am the victim. So I'm just open the website, and I was only able to see a click me option, nothing other than that. So what is this click me? I am going here and click the button and my account get deleted. That is what is happening in the background. So that's, I don't know about that this happened. I'm not able to see what's behind that. So this is how attacker sends this to the victim in some more engaging way. So this is just a demo, but attacker will send you something that is more convincing, so that you will definitely gonna click that if you are unaware of this kind of vulnerabilities. So when we hover over here, we can see it's click me. So we can just move the inspect page option, and here I'm just putting this, and here you can see when you hover over here what is happening. So it's about delete my account option, which will you will be able to see when you click here and move here. As you can see, when you hover over here, you can see the delete account option in the inspector. Look at the inspector. In the inspector, you'll be able to see change email and action. Look at the action, which is saying that my account delete post. You can just view the contents, right? So these contents, right? When you hover over here, right? So that's what is happening without your knowledge, right? So we just set everything correct in this lab. Now what we need to do is to deliver this to the victim. So when we deliver this to the victim, when the victim clicks, then the account will get deleted, and this is how we solve this lab also. So I hope I helped you to learn more about clickjacking, and thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.